Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to have a look at another wooden ship kit as post-build review. This is Caldercraft's 1/64 scale HM Brig Supply, one of Caldercraft's Nelson's Navy ships, and it's a wonderful build. Let's have, because it's already built. I can't go through the box and show you like everything you get in it. I could upload some photos, but they're all in the internet anyway. But I'll just swap the overhead camera. What I'll do is we'll have a look at the plans first, a little bit of the material and what is left, and then we'll look at the actual model itself and see what changes I've made or all that sort of stuff. So if you bear with me for a moment, I'll move stuff around. So this is the box. As I said, it's the supply was well, His Majesty's Brig. It's a brig-rigged sloop. Supply was one of Australia's first fleet ships. In fact, it was the first of those ships that arrived in Australia, with Captain Arthur Phillip on board, our first governor, and they arrived in Botany Bay on the 17th of January 1788, which is a good 18 years after James Cook and Joseph Banks were there. And yeah, and then they stuck around there for a couple of days, found it totally unsuitable, and they moved the fleet up 18 kilometres north or so to Port Jackson and settled in Sydney Cove, and the rest is, dare I say it, history. Okay, so this is what I've got. This didn't come with the kit. I found that online. This is from the Admiralty plans of the actual HM Brig Supply. What I was looking at was the size of the main hatch, because what's in the plans I thought was too wide to enable to have the guns on each side. So I had a look at that, and also what I figure is this kit isn't very accurate, but none of the kits I see of the supply, there's a Artesania Latina one. I'm not sure which other brands there are. They all have subtle differences, but it looks good from a distance. I'm quite happy. I built mine out of box generally out of box, because I think it's a great looking ship anyway. But looking at this, you've got the main deck, and the quarter deck pretty much starts here, and that's the size of the cabin there. Whereas on this kit, it goes forward round about to there. So they've changed, moved bits around and stuff like that. I simply don't really care. So you get a big book. Oh, no, you don't. You get a book. It's fairly thin. Let's see, it's 18 pages. So as I said, Caldercraft's Nelson Navy. You get a picture of the ship. These are manufactured and distributed by Jotika, an English company. So the plans and everything else, the instructions are simply in English. There's apps and everything else. If you need other languages, you can translate with everything that's available to all of us nowadays. And on sheet 7, you've got a list of everything you get in it. Just showing you there. So rudder, one piece, 5mm walnut, and it goes on. There's lots of pieces here. Yeah, pages of it. And then we get into the parts list. So the pre-cut frames. You get a 1.5mm sheet. That's everything labelled on it. So you can see that there's tops. There's all sorts of stuff. There's cabin bulkheads. Yeah. Same again. So they're the cross trees. All the pre-cut parts, and then on the back is a photo etch set. This is larger than life, of course, but all the parts list and everything is labelled on the PE set. So the window frames. These are the eyelets that make up the loops that they remove the main planking or the covers for the hatches and all that sort of stuff like that. So pretty good book, very easy to follow. I found there's not many things that I was wondering what they were getting at. I understood pretty much all of it. There are a couple of bits missing. It just pretty much like, when it comes to rigging the anchor, there's not much information in that, but I guess you'd know. You also get a sheet saying, "Dear modeler, thanks for purchasing it." You've got an individual serial number there. What this says is, we continually upgrade our products to ensure your kit is of the highest standard, and we ask you to register your model with us. If any vital parts for your kit are updated, they'll be sent to you. It's a registered customer free of charge. Take a moment and return that. Now you can do it now. You can do it online. Obviously, this came out about 2000 or so, where the internet wasn't as it wasn't as ubiquitous as it is now. Mind you, I don't think Jotika have updated their website since 2000, so you might be on your own there. Anyway, it's up to them. Also, I had just got this is from Model Ships. What is it? Oh, crap. Yep. Nautical Research Guild. Basically, there's a resource there to work out the planking. And different size ships had a different sort of like shift pattern for the deck and how where the intervals were and all the planking. And I figured this one was a 4-shift plan, so I used that to work out where that would be. Okay, so you get 6 sheets of plans. And they're quite big, which is why I've moved the camera up. We'll start at the top and go through this. Okay, so these are all full size, 1/64 scale, sheet 1 of 6. Right, so what we've got is the side profile, the cutaway view, showing all the frames that go onto the false keel. You've got the bow stem. This is a 5x5 walnut that goes along the bottom there, and same up the rear there, and the rudder sits on it. These are cast metal, aluminium, pretty much, little pegs here and pins, and they work pretty well. So this is all fairly straightforward. What I found is it is well known. Other people that have built this on modelshipworld.com have found what I found is frame 11 is a good 10 millimeters shorter than what it should be. That's quite easy for Nelson's Navy Jotika to fix. They literally have to go into the CNC program, add a 0 where they left it off, and update it. Now, I've sent them emails. They haven't done it. They're terrible, quite frankly, with getting back to us. In fact, I thought they were out of business for 7-8 years or so. I didn't hear boo from them. And anyway, so they could easily update that frame. That frame is the only real error of the kit. The rest of it goes together beautifully well. Top view. Everything's pointing at all the parts list and everything else, and everything's right. Now you can see here, this has a wider main hatch than the forward hatch there. What I thought was, if that's as wide as that is, then there's no room for the cannon the gun trucks to move back and all that sort of stuff. So I changed it myself and made the main hatch the same width as the forward hatch, and you'll see that in a minute, but it doesn't look any different really. I think it was the right decision, and I'll show you a bit later. It fits rather well now the way I've got it. You've got a grating there, you've got a front hatch on the forecastle, and this is a windlass. All these little chunks here are pre-cut, so you just basically stack them up on a brass rod, and you've got these metal gear cogs with little pawls that engage them and stop it sort of slipping and all that sort of stuff. So that windlass is very easy to build up. Looking at the front again, it's cutaway. So you got the bow section. This is a front face of the cabins, and looking back the other way, the windlass where it goes, going up to the other side. Stern view, the planking view, just an overview how it goes, how the trucks go together for the guns. This is the chain plates. I'll get to that in a minute. There is a problem I found with that. It's a little bit difficult with the parts supplied. And again, this is the side view of the ship with the bowsprit and how long the actual kit is. It's all very good. And then you've got the overview. If you've got the false keel, you drop the frames in, it builds up that way. And you've got the transom that sits going the other way. Once that's together, you've got these wider bits here, build out the bow a little bit and then shave all them down. Drop the forecastle, the main deck and quarter deck in place, and that's sort of it. And then nail it all down. And the anchor is much the same. Everything is pre-cut. The stocks are pre-cut. These paper, there's black lined paper. In fact, it's like this stuff. It's black thick card goes around those, and I've used that in a couple of places around the mast, and that works really well. It looks like iron hoops, so that's good. So that's sheet 1 of 6. This is sheet 2 of 6. This is the masts and yards. These are single-sided, by the way. So the top is that way. Again, so we've got the driver gaff, gaff boom, yeah, and then going into the fore toggallant or top gallant yard and all the other ones. So you got the foot ropes and how they go on. You got where the blocks fit, which size the blocks are. In fact, all these bits here. So J refers to that bit there, and B is this rope. So B is 0.75 mil black hemp, and J is a 5 mil single block. So it's all very easy. Everything's right in front of you. I've got my own scribble here about how I did. Well, there you go. I made a change with the bowsprit because this part 137. It's actually, yeah, well, that's right. It's actually part 138. In fact, I've got it there, and I didn't use it because it's the wrong size anyway. Oh well, but I just made up another one. Basically, it's that shape, and it goes between the top, the main bowsprit, and of course the jib boom, the forward bit. And yeah, I just sort of got another bit of flat wood and made it fit because modelling skills is quite easy. And again, the cross trees and the chest trees. The cross trees are the ones going, left to right, and the chest trees are forward back on the mast. Same on the top. You got these parts. These are the tops, or the fighting tops, as it would be on a. They're not crow's nests. If it was a warship, it would be a fighting top. It's just a top. So you got a top and the cross trees. How they all go together, and the blocks that go underneath them, attached to cross trees on 4 top only for the spritzel braces. As I say, it's all quite easy to read, and it's adequately well drawn. In fact, I thought, come on, focus, please. Please focus. Please focus. Let's try that another way. There we go. Yeah. So 4-yard, cross jack yard. Yeah, here we go. Black cartridge paper cut to a width of 2 mil and glued around the mast with PVA wood adhesive. Is what it says, and that's what I did, and it works perfectly well. So there are all the masts, yards, cross trees, and everything else that's vertical on the ship. Quite easy to follow. Very good. Sheet 3 of 6. This is the shrouds and all the rat lines. Okay. So again, this is half and half. This is all printed on just one side. So this is the main deck again, but this is pointing to each of the running rigging and where they terminate. So coming down from the mast and yards and everything else. So yeah, I'd drawn a couple of things here. So the size of the ropes are E, F, G, which are again 0.25, 0.5, and 0.75 natural hemp, and which ones go on which pin rails. And all that sort of stuff. That's very easy to follow. How to terminate the bottom of the shrouds and the dead eyes. And flipping over is, all the shrouds. Where they start, where they finish. Now, very easy to follow. I had no problems with this at all. So you've got these bits here. That's the cathepins and the futtock shroud. So I'll show you them in a minute. They're under the tops, you've got, where the shrouds come up, you've got braces that go, thwart ships, let's say, to keep it all sort of together and everything else. And yeah, it's all there, and it's all quite easy to follow. So good on you, Jotika. Well done. I love these plans, actually. I use them for years. It's even got their scribble on it. So all of those had been scanned, written. They had written on it when they scanned them. But then they printed them all. So, yeah. Sheet 4 of 6. Stays and backstays. Most of it's not there. So we'll just flip it straight over. So, yeah, where the masts are, you've got the stays going forward and the backstays, obviously going back. where they start from, where they terminate, how they terminate. Again, very easy to follow. No mysteries there. It's 4. Sheet 5 is a running rigging. Again, most of it's not up top here. Well, I'd written a note there. What did I say? What did I tell myself? To shroud cleat above foremast, topmast dead eyes. Oh yeah, where 9, yeah, where that rope terminates. Ah, there we go. And yeah, made another note. Second front pin rail. So this is, yep, all the well, they're in half, but obviously for each yard, the lines that go up and then they go down, and where they, how they run and all that sort of stuff like that. As all, again, no problems there at all. Very easy to follow. Quite simple. It's being a two-masted brig. Yeah, it's not that much rigging involved compared to, say, the Victory or Constitution or any of the larger fighting ships. This is simply a logistics vessel. Good name for it, the Supply. Last one, sheet 6. Again, there's not much on that top half. It's all on the bottom half, and this is, yep, all the rigging, the running rigging. So this is, to move the well, going that way, to move the yards left and right to catch the wind and all that sort of stuff. So this is into the guts of it, and this is yeah, pretty well drawn. I found it difficult. It's basically probably my problem than anything else. I had trouble working out this bit. These are the lifts, as I call them. I've probably got the name wrong, but the bit that, so this is the, yep. So they're the cross trees. That's the top. So you've got the topsail yard, and this is the main yard. And yep. So the rope was, yeah, let me see. It's, yeah, starting tied to the cross trees, coming down on each side, going through a double block, then coming back on the opposite side, going through other pulleys there, then down behind that one into a truck tied to the aftermost topsail mast standing backstay. So just like a grommet, if you like, run through a wooden grommet. Then that goes down, terminates, well, goes through this block there, which itself is terminated on the deck. So this is quite complicated, and trying to work out how it ran and all that sort of stuff. That diagram was not that easy, but I got there. And as you can see, the blue bits of that are the blue bits on here. So yeah, that blue bit there is showing where the truck or the grommet is going onto the block, which is that far above the deck. Yeah, and it's a series of blocks and all that sort of stuff. So basically, you'd have 2 people on the deck pulling on a rope, and they're going to take the strain of the entire weight of the top mast, because the way it's run through the rigging. So they're the plans. All right. So to look at the actual model itself and how it's turned out, let's find out what's going to be the best camera angle. Probably, yeah, we go. It's all right. So I'll tell you what. I'll leave it at this one. I'll just sort of move it around a bit and adjust where possible. Okay, so this is how it's turned out. Now, this has taken me about 5 years off and on. I haven't done it full time. You could probably do it a lot quicker than that, but I tend to take my time with these because, well, they do take a lot of time. But I generally do plastic modeling, always doing that on the go. This is, I guess, I probably enjoy this more than plastic modeling, but plastic modeling is my go-to hobby, scale modeling in any way. But these are so much fun. All right, so it'd be best if let's start at the front. So I haven't made any changes with the bowsprit or anything at all, apart from, as I said earlier, this little bit in there, which is basically the support of the flying jib onto the main bowsprit. It was the wrong shape. This one was too large. This is, I think it's a 6mm round wood, whereas that's made for 8, and it's got 6 on the other side. So that was just, anyway, I just made up a new one. No problems there. Um, Again, it's just sort of secured, no dramas at all. So that all the front was easy. Anchors, there was no real instruction detailing how they would run. So what I've done is just there wasn't enough rope. This is a rope that comes in the kit. This it's yeah, it's really nice rope. The real thick stuff, but it's a bit too white for my taste, if that makes sense. But I didn't want to dye it in tea or anything else. I was happy to leave it because it doesn't really stand out that much. But I had it running from the anchors through the hawse hole um, back to the windlass, going around that once and then dropping into a hole in the deck. Now, what I wanted to do originally is have it go around the windlass a couple of times and then remove a couple of covers from the forward hatch and have them drop down there. But there wasn't enough rope supplied in the kit to be able to do that. And I could buy some more, but I thought, well, that'll do. So that's good enough. All the colours here are straight. I've just made this pretty much out of box. Now I'll go to the picture that's on the kit. As you can see it there, let's move the ship. I've just pretty much gone out of box, so the colours are as they are there. I don't know if they're absolutely 100% accurate or not. I think it looks wonderful, so I did that. So these are Admiralty paints from Jotica, and they're designed specifically for ships, which is why I think it looks fantastic in these colours. The guns, I actually don't know if the Supply had 2 guns or 6 guns or 4. Different kits have different numbers. I went with what's in the kit, so 3 on each side. And yeah, the only change I've made to them, I think I might have bought a little tiny, some tiny blocks to rig these up because I don't think there's enough blocks to rig the guns this way, but I wanted to go for the actual sort of like, make it as accurate as I can. And then hooping the ropes up around is just basically 2 plastic counters from games, yeah, on a pin and just wind that up, soak it in PVA and yeah, take it off and they stay sort of glued to the deck with PVA, so that they look busy. And on the sides, you could probably see along the inside of the bulwark there is brass monkeys. So they're an extra addition to the kit. I've bought 2 things from Vanguard models and fitted to these. So these are the brass monkeys for that. I think they're 1mm ply and they're beautifully CNC cut. And the cannonballs, I believe, I think I bought them from Floater Boat in Melbourne. Wonderful business down there. So I just line up cannonballs along the bulwarks and it makes it look busy. I like that. And the other thing I added from Vanguard was the binnacle. This doesn't have one in the kit, and I just thought it would have one. And I don't know if it's 100% accurate with colors, position, or anything else. But I think it looks about right, and it's just a beautiful little thing. The only change I've made to that is just paint it up red, well, the red ochre, and it comes with a little brass funnel on top there for the lantern. The other change I made, the tiller. I was thinking if you had hobnail boots and you're trying to steer this thing, you're probably going to be sliding on a wet deck. So I put that sort of fan array of other, I think it's 1x1 wood around there. In reality, it's larger than I probably should have done, preferred or whatever, but I think it's so they can get purchase on the tiller to move it left and right because, that's pretty good. It looks okay. It looks busy enough. All the pin rails and everything else, yeah, there's no additions to this apart from that. So the main change I said is I made the main hatch. I think it was 10 mil shorter on each side to enable the guns to fit. And as you can see, I would have, if that was wide, it would have been pretty much close to the back of the truck there, and it would have been, yeah. In reality, it was probably more correct having it wider, and it probably had less guns. But I wanted to do it this way. All these little hoops and their little iron, they're pre formed brass hoops that I've painted black to simulate iron, and they're all just cut individually and just stuck on there. Yeah, the back of it, these are the photo etch, all the windows there, and on the front of the cabin, and on the back, the writing on the back there, they're all the photo etch, which I'd painted white when I stuck them on. Some modelers have changed this to have gallery windows. Um, some have, I think, 5 windows, and because there was a vague drawing done during or soon after First Fleet was in Australia, and it showed the supply, but from a distance, and it was only just drawn just as an image because they're actually drawing something else and it was off to the side. But I don't know whether the supply had gallery windows or not. I quite like the look of this. I could have put supply around the top there. I could have. I decided to put it along the bottom, and I think I'm happy with that. I think it looks pretty good myself. Um, Nothing else to report. It's just yeah. So painted white underneath. This is again all Admiralty paints. So oh, in fact, I'll leave this here. Stay. This is them. So we have uh, yellow ochre. Ooh, come on, focus. Admiralty paints from Joe Tika. A yellow ochre, a red ochre. We've got a black metal, a matte metal black, which I believe would be for the guns. In fact, as you could probably see, that's unopened because I should have used that in retrospect for the guns. Yeah. A dull black, which is what I did use because it is open. And there's 2 pots of the matte white. One open, one not open. And that's what I used. This is all just brush painted. This paint goes down really well with a brush. I think the coat is very even, and it doesn't show any brush strokes or anything at all. And I think the colours, like the ochre, the black, the red ochre, I think they're spot on. And so I'm really happy with those Admiralty paints, and I would highly recommend them for anybody wanting to do any of the well, certainly British Admiralty ships. I think it's a cracker of a looking boat, and it's not overly large. And it looks a business, I think. Oh, sorry. Let's go to the mast. Yeah, I did make other changes here. So what I was doing is referring to this book, the Anatomy of Nelson's Ships, and in there it's got this guy's done incredible research about how it all worked, sizes and all that sort of stuff. So I was following his drawings. So up here around uh, what's painted black, the top of the foremast and the mainmast, I've got strips of black, painted black, but it's just plastic card as battens. So yeah, that would prevent ropes from chafing as they moved around. So I put them in each of the centers of the yards. It's hard to see, but if I zoom in on that main yard there, it's too hard to see. But they're hexagonal, so they were shaved down just with a file. But then I've put in, yeah, I made a hexagonal again using just strips of styrene, and did those. I didn't do it on the top, but I think, yeah, I believe they're there. And the deal is, all the changes are made. Yeah, I don't know if you can see the center of that. Yeah, so the center of the main yard there is hexagonal, and I think it adds to the detail. It lifts it. It's probably not really necessary, and you can get by without doing it. But I think it adds a nice bit of detail there, and I think it looks busy enough and everything else. Very clean. The other one change I made is for this. This is the driver. This is the gaff. So where this rope supports the gaff, it goes from there back to there, 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 and then from here drops down to a cleat on the back of the main mast. But what I had done is move the position of that and hang it off the back of the back of that top, because otherwise it would have rubbed on the handrail. So there's a handrail on the rear face of the tops, and the rope would have rubbed on it. And I just thought, well, in reality, they don't like rope chafing, so I moved that down and moved it off from where it was on the plan. Because on the plan, I believe it was on the back of the actual yard itself, but I moved it to the back of the top, and I'm happy with that. And it just drops straight down to the cleat there. All the yards and everything else on this, they're not secured. They're not pinned to the yard, the mast or anything else. They're basically, it's all the rope that's holding them in place. So they can move up and down, but yeah, the weight of them just holds them where they are. And this is all the rope that's supplied with the kit. I didn't use any more. I didn't need to buy additional rope. It's already black and hemp and everything else, and it's just it's all, yeah, it's a beautiful kit. I really enjoyed it. As I say, there's a couple of things that weren't that I'd say that clear. Yeah, maybe it was me getting confused with how a particular bit of rigging went, but I eventually worked it out. But the main thing I changed on this was there's iron hoops that go around each of the dead eyes at the bottom of the chain plates there. So the top ones are fine where the rope just backs on itself and ties up. But down the bottom of the chain plates, if I can move in there, now you can probably see the hoop doesn't go all the way around the top of the dead eyes. We're looking at the bottom row of dead eyes here. Oh, with the black. You can see on the bottom there's a gap here. There we go. So that the hoop doesn't go all the way around. Now, the kit supplied brass bits that go around those dead eyes, they meet at the bottom. So they come around the dead eye, and then it comes off with like a figure eight and goes at the bottom like that. And that's where the chain the hoop then meets the chain. And what I found was happening if you put any strain on that rope at all, that bit, even if you super glue it, that link where that meets will just pop out. So it's just breaking off all the time. So I went to float a boat in Ringwood in Melbourne. I bought, basically these are, I believe they're, whatever they are, I think they're 5mm dead eyes. I bought, basically had a look at their range, found these other ones that went around it and they went the other way. So the gap was at the top of the dead eye, well, certainly at the, say, the 3 o'clock position. So because it went over the top, even though there's a gap, when I pull up, it didn't sort of put any additional strain on or whatever, and I was able to do that quite well. So yeah, that was the only thing that I didn't. I mean, the kit could have done with an improvement. In fact, what I had learned later on is Jotika had improved them, but as that sheet said, like, if we make any changes, we'll send you out free of charge. Well, no correspondence, no nothing. I could buy them, but then postage from the UK to Australia, it's just easier for me to get local. But they weren't Caldercraft ones I fitted. I can't remember what brand they were, but it all went together rather well. So that's probably enough waffling for now. That's it. So that's the HM Brig Supply. As I said earlier, one of the first fleet's principal vessels. The first fleet, obviously, set the settlement of Australia in 1788. This was the fastest, the newest boat in the first fleet, and this was the first ship of the first fleet into Sydney Harbour, and the one that Captain Arthur Phillip was on at the time. So this is a ship that founded Australia. The Sirius, which is the flagship, had barnacles and everything underneath. So he transferred to this ship to get there. He's going to get there with a couple of carpenters and build shelters and stuff like weeks ahead of everyone else. But they had trouble in storms, so they only arrived 2 days ahead. So everyone sort of had to get off the ship and build stuff straight away. But that's the Jotika 1/64 scale HM Brig Supply. I've heard people say, "Oh, I refuse to build it because I don't like the box. It's pink." Seriously? It's a box. You don't keep the box. The ship is gorgeous. Beautiful kit. I highly recommend it. This is, of the ships I've done, this is the one that I enjoyed the most. This is a lot of fun. Really good. And Caldercraft, as a result of building this, they're my favorite wooden ship company at the moment. They're, well, let's face it, they're impossible to deal with, but they're really, yeah, they're good ships, good quality builds. And I hear the Diana, the Victory, the other ones they do. It makes me want to go off and get the range. The Nelson's Navy range look amazing. So this is one of the smaller ones in the range, but the Pickle and all the other ones in the range, they look fantastic. So I highly recommend this one. Caldercraft, aka Nelson's Navy, aka Jotika. So it's Jotika dash ltd.com is what's on the box. It's probably different now. If you look up Nelson's Navy Caldercraft, you'll find it. But beautiful build experience, that one. You know, a quick build makes me want to build another one. Thanks again. We'll speak soon. Over.